You click a button. A single, digital instruction. The screen confirms your order. For you, the transaction is over. But in reality, something monumental has just begun. You have awakened a machine. A machine of unimaginable scale. It has no single location. It has no single owner. It is a vast, interconnected network of engineering, technology, and human coordination. It is the invisible system that delivers your world. And its blueprint is one of the greatest, untold stories of our time. This is the secret engineering behind a global promise. A promise that anything you desire can travel thousands of miles and arrive directly at your door. This system is a river of goods. It flows constantly across the planet. A torrent of products, parts, and materials. It moves through channels carved by human ingenuity. Each day, millions of items begin this journey. A pair of headphones assembled in Malaysia. A bottle of wine from France. A bag of coffee beans from Colombia. They are all destined for different hands. Yet they travel on the same current. They are guided by the same invisible hand. For decades, this system operated in the background. A silent partner to global commerce. We saw only the final result. The package on our doorstep. The full shelf at the supermarket. We rarely considered the how. We never saw the machine itself. But to understand the modern world, you must understand its circulatory system. You have to see the blueprint. It begins with a simple language. A series of black and white lines. The barcode. This humble invention was a revolution. It was the first time a physical object could speak to a digital system. A simple scan was a digital handshake. It announced the object's identity. Its origin. Its destination. This single innovation unlocked the door to mass automation. It allowed us to track one box in a million. It gave a unique voice to every item in the global flow. Without it, the modern supply chain could not exist. The barcode was the first word. Soon, we would build an entire digital language around it. That language is spoken in colossal cathedrals of commerce. These are not dusty, forgotten warehouses. They are called fulfillment centers. They are marvels of precision engineering. Inside, the air hums with a controlled energy. A city-sized grid stretches across the floor. And on this grid, an army of robots moves in a silent, coordinated dance. These are not humanoid machines. They are low-profile platforms. They are immensely strong. An AI conductor orchestrates their every move. The system knows the location of millions of items. A new order arrives. The digital ghost in the machine issues a command. A specific robot detaches from its charging station. It glides beneath a towering stack of shelves. It lifts the entire 4-ton unit. It carries it across the floor. It delivers it to a human worker. The human is the final touch. They pick the single item needed. They place it in a yellow plastic tote. The robot then returns the shelf to the grid. The entire process takes minutes. It is a perfect symphony of human-robot collaboration. From the tote, the item begins its own journey. It rides on a superhighway of conveyor belts. These belts stretch for miles within the warehouse walls. They crisscross and merge in a dizzying array. Scanners track the tote's barcode at every junction. They guide it through the maze. The system knows precisely where it needs to go. It is sorted. And sorted again. It travels towards a specific packing station. Another worker places it in a cardboard box. A machine named Slam applies the shipping label. The box is now an individual traveler. It has an address. It has a destination. It is ready for the next stage of its journey. This is the heart of the machine. The tireless, automated pulse of modern logistics. But a warehouse is just one node in a much larger network. To move goods globally, you need to conquer the oceans. Today's container ships are the largest moving objects ever built by humans. They are floating giants. Longer than 4 football fields. They carry over 20,000 steel boxes. Each box is a standardized unit of global trade. Getting them on and off these ships is a monumental challenge. It requires another form of mechanical ballet. At the port, massive gantry cranes stand like sentinels. They are masterpieces of structural engineering. A single operator sits in a tiny cab, hundreds of feet in the air. They maneuver a spreader that weighs tons. They lock onto a container on the ship. They lift the 40-ton box with astonishing speed and precision. They place it onto a waiting truck chassis. The entire cycle takes less than 2 minutes. This dance happens thousands of times a day. In hundreds of ports around the world. It is the critical handover. The moment goods move from sea to land. Once on land, the package enters another system. A system designed for pure speed. This was the critical business decision made by companies like FedEx. They didn't see themselves as just a trucking company. They saw themselves as a logistics network. They built their empire on a radical idea: the hub and spoke model. Every night, a fleet of cargo planes takes off from cities all over the country. They are all flying to one central location: a massive airport hub. For a few frantic hours in the middle of the night, this hub becomes the busiest place on Earth. Packages are unloaded from every plane. They pour into another giant sorting facility. A torrent of boxes on conveyor belts. They are scanned and routed. Your package from Los Angeles might be sorted next to one from Miami. They are then loaded onto new planes. The plane to New York gets all the New York-bound packages. By dawn, the planes have taken off again. They are flying back out to their spoke cities. This nightly, centralized sort allows a package to get from any city to any other city overnight. It was a billion-dollar bet on infrastructure. A bet that redefined the meaning of fast. The entire system, from the robot to the crane to the airplane, is governed by a single, unseen force: data. The supply chain is not just a physical network. It is a digital one. It is run by immensely complex software. Warehouse management systems. Transportation management systems. These are the digital brains of the operation. They collect billions of data points every second. A GPS signal from a truck in Ohio. A barcode scan in a port in Singapore. The fuel level of a cargo plane over the Atlantic. The weather forecast in Chicago. All of this data flows into massive server farms. Algorithms churn through the information. They are constantly solving an impossible puzzle: the traveling salesman problem, on a planetary scale. They optimize every route. They redirect trucks around traffic jams. They reroute ships to avoid storms. They tell the warehouse which items to move closer to the packing stations. This predictive analytics is the secret sauce. The system doesn't just know where everything is. It knows where everything should be. It is constantly thinking ahead. It is a relentless pursuit of efficiency. Shaving off seconds. Saving pennies on every mile. Across billions of transactions, this adds up to a colossal competitive advantage. This obsession with optimization led to another strategic leap: the idea of just-in-time. It began in Japanese car factories. Toyota decided it was inefficient to stockpile parts. They engineered a system where parts arrived at the assembly line just in time to be installed. This philosophy exploded across the globe. It became the mantra for the entire supply chain. Why keep products in a warehouse at all? The new goal was to keep everything in a constant state of motion. The warehouse became a cross-dock facility. Goods arrive on one truck. They are immediately sorted and loaded onto another. They barely touch the ground. This increases velocity. It reduces cost. But it also creates a system with no slack. A system balanced on a knife's edge. The final, and most complex, stage of the journey is the last mile. This is the final leg from a local distribution center to your front door. It is the most expensive part of the entire process. It involves an army of drivers. A fleet of vans. Navigating residential streets. Dealing with traffic. Finding the right address. For years, this was the bottleneck. The great challenge was to crack the last mile. The answer, once again, was data and density. Delivery routes are not random. They are mathematically optimized paths. Calculated to deliver the most packages in the shortest time. Companies built smaller, local warehouses. They flooded zones with drivers. They created new models, like gig economy couriers. All to shrink that final distance. To meet an ever-increasing demand for now. Same day, 2-hour, even 1-hour delivery. This is the front line of the logistics war. And the machine is still evolving. Its blueprint is constantly being redrawn. Autonomous trucks are being tested on highways. They promise to drive 24/7 without tiring. Drones are being deployed to deliver small packages in rural areas. They bypass the road network entirely. The most mind-bending innovation is predictive shipping. The system's AI analyzes your browsing history. Your past purchases. Even how long your mouse hovers over a product. It predicts what you will buy. And it ships the product to a local warehouse before you even click the button. When you do finally order, the item is already just a few miles away. The delivery window shrinks from days to hours, or even minutes. It's a system that tries to know what you want before you do. This invisible machine has fundamentally reshaped our world. It has changed our expectations. It has flattened geography. It has made the entire planet a single, accessible marketplace. We live in an age of instant gratification. An age made possible by this silent, humming network. It is fragile, as global events have shown. A single blockage can create ripples across the globe. But it is also incredibly resilient. It is designed to adapt. To reroute. to find a new path. It is a system that fights for flow. So the next time you click buy now, take a moment. Picture the chain reaction you have started. The robot that awakens. The crane that lifts. The plane that flies through the night. The algorithm that plots the most perfect path. You have summoned a ghost in the machine. A ghost that commands an invisible, planet-spanning engine of incredible power and precision. The secret engineering that delivers your world.